So today I'm in Explorer, seeing if recent anthology edition Brave the Elements can power us through Platinum in a very monocoloured meta now that Nykthos seems to be everywhere. Hey everyone, Hex here, and today I'm on the ladder trying to rank up as the season end fast approaches. But before we get going, I want to thank everyone for their support for this channel this year. I can't wait for the new year and new content I have planned, so be sure to hit that subscribe button below to not miss out. Plus you'll be massively supporting the channel in the meantime too. But onto this deck, and I've spent a lot of time playing unranked and janky decks this month, but to avoid being put back to silver I need to rank up a bit, so I'm using this opportunity to try out some new cards in Explorer. There's a lot of mono coloured decks running around in the meta, so I'm trying out Brave the Elements, a new addition from the recent Explorer anthology to get around this. It's a 1-drop instant that says choose a colour, white creatures you control gain protection from the chosen colour until end of turn. So the plan is to get in some damage and then use this to sneak in a massive attack later on when we've built up a large board. It's great in offensive situations like that, but also defensively it's great to avoid losing your precious creatures. It highly benefits when opponents run monocolor decks, and my record against those seems to be pretty good. The rest of the deck are just creatures you'd expect to see in Explorer, all humans, all white, so I'll quickly run through them. We have Dauntless Bodyguard, Hopeful Initiate, and Thraben Inspector in the 1-drop slots. All do something unique, but a shout out to the Initiates who got me out of a lot of pickles today when blowing up lockdowns, enigmatic incarnations, and leyline bindings. 2 drops we have Luminarch Aspirants, Thalia, and Thalia's Lieutenants. As we only have 1 non-creature spell, Thalia is perfect in this deck, and some opponents just scoop whenever this is dropped on turn 2. I always favour Thalia on turn 2 if I can do it. 3 drops, we've got Brutal Cathar as our only removal here, Adeline as our finisher, and I'm using Elite Spellbinder. I was unsure about this card, but being able to play around opponents' hands and having some small evasion seems to be great. Just the 22 lands here today, and I'm using Mutavault 2 as a 2/2 creature. It's not white, so it can't be used with Brave the Elements, which did cause a few problems today, but I do like it and it's cheap. So this deck got me through Platinum this evening and did very well against the mono-coloured decks. I ended up getting out of Platinum relatively straightforwardly, but mainly had tons of fun doing this, which is always my goal, and it only took a couple of hours. I picked out a few of the better games to show you, so sit back, have a watch, and let me know if there's any changes that you would make in this deck. Alright, on the play, keep this hand, couple of early 1-drops, and leading into Adeline, so this should be pretty good. As we play our Thraben Inspector, grab a clue, can always correct that later if we have nothing else to do. Opponent has a companion here in Yorion. Could be any kind of deck. So they play a tapped Triome and an Abzan Triome. And yeah, we attack with the Inspector. We'll play a Bodyguard. And say go. Opponent with a Stitcher's Supplier. So graveyard deck here. And a couple of nice cards in the graveyard there, including a Titania. So something to be wary of, but we can say go. There's a Castle Ardenvale, so we get to play that later, or we get to use that later. Play Adeline here, and I think we'll just attack with both our creatures. Yeah, the opponent probably wants to block with this Stitcher's Supplier, but we're going to have to get through these later, sooner rather than later. Yeah, and they block with the Bodyguard, but I'm just going to sacrifice it and not allow the Stitcher's Supplier to die for the moment. I wasn't aware that they were going to block like that, to be honest. So they're hovering over Adeline, and it's Mythos to destroy Adeline. Good job we have a second one in our hand, and Bodyguard as well. So let's drop Adeline, we'll drop the Bodyguard, we can protect Adeline, and then we'll attack the opponent again. See how they want to block this time. They don't, they take it. Okay, down to 14. And Old Rutstain. So these are pretty annoying blockers in our way. We're definitely going to be looking for a Brave the Elements here to get through all of this. And another Stitcher's Supplier. So this is the time where we've done 6 damage. We're now going to try and find 14 power on our side of the board, find Brave the Elements, and attack unobstructed by naming black. But we get Elite Spellbinder, which is a really nice card here. Get to see what we're playing around. Eerie Ultimatum and my Triton. Alright, well, we'll tax the Ultimatum. Slow them right down. Attack with the team. There'll probably be some blocks here, but kind of okay with that. Start clearing the way a little bit. And yeah, we will once again just activate the Dauntless Bodyguard here. And pass the turn down to 10 for our opponent. And they draw a card from a Rutstain, so gonna need some action from our end. There's a Maya Triton. Bit annoying with the Death Touch, but they're still milling away. But yeah, I can't see them using this Eerie Ultimatum they've got in exile at the moment anytime soon. However, we do need to find one of our Brave the Elements here. Brave the Elements would win us the game, as we have more than enough damage on our end. So our opponent doesn't attack, we'll crack our clue, we'll see what we draw. And there's Brave the Elements right off the top, so perfect little card there. I guess we'll just drop Thalia's Lieutenant first, in case the opponent has any shenanigans, but we get to name black here. And yeah, this is the combo in action, and opponent dies. Alright, on the draw here, hand looks pretty nice. We have our Brave the Elements, and that is perfect for me. Nice little curve here with our 1, 2, and 3 drops. Just want to draw one land, and I think we'll be golden here, to be honest. Opponent names human, so up against a fellow human deck, but we'll play our Hopeful Initiate here. No need for us to play the Unclaimed Territory in our deck, we're just mono white. They're obviously got other colours, in this case a tapped, well, in this case a green mana, so Selesnya, and they played Luminarch Aspirant, so we drew a Thalia's Lieutenant, which is always a nice card. Now, sequence in here, gonna play the Hopeful Initiate and the Bodyguard, and then we'll play the Lieutenant next turn to pump up our team. So no attacks there, unfortunately. Gonna just hold this Brave the Elements as long as possible. If we're up against a human deck, then we should be able to swing in for a massive attack later, as I'm sure all of their creatures are going to have white in there, which is what we can name. And there's Catilda, okay. And yeah, just go to attacks, and the Luminarch Aspirant is going to put a counter on Catilda, okay. Well, I doubt they're going to attack here, because I obviously would block the Aspirant. No, they pass their turn. And there's a land for us, which is really nice. So we'll drop one of our Thalia's Lieutenants here. That puts a counter on everything. And I guess we have an attack here. We want to attack with our 3 creatures. Get some trading going on here. So a couple of 3/4s now and a 3/2. If opponent wants to block the Bodyguard, so be it. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with either of their creatures dying. If not, they are taking 9 damage and going down to 7. And then next turn, we'll have a lethal with the Brave the Elements. So I kind of like where we are here. Even if they block, they're going to lose their board. And we do have a Adeline as well in our midst. Okay, opponent just takes the damage. It's fine, they're down to 7. Yeah, we've definitely got lethal next turn. So hopefully the opponent just plays a bunch of creatures and nothing mono green. Thraben Inspector's nice for us to see. Brutal Cathar, that's fine. We still have lethal even if they take, yeah, they've taken one of the initiates. We've still got 7 damage on board, so they can have my initiate. That's fine by me. Another Thalia's Lieutenant, so normally they would have a pretty optimistic that they're going to be able to take over this game now. But this Brave the Elements has been such a good little addition for this sort of mono white deck, as it gives us the small advantage that they probably don't have. But we'll play the Thalia's Lieutenant first, which pops a counter on everything, and yeah, just name white and attack our opponent. They have no open mana, so this is a pretty safe attack. And yeah, another win for Brave the Elements there. Alright, on the draw, with a fine hand, couple of Brutal Cathars here, opponent with a Plains, and we will drop our Hopeful Initiate, which is my favourite turn 1 play. Okay, and we have an Aspirant to follow it up, so that's pretty nice. We'll put the counter on the Aspirant though, so next turn training is activated with the Hopeful Initiate. Opponent with a 3rd Plains, and a Restoration of Eiganjo. Okay, so although that ramps them, it has taken their whole turn to do that, so we're going to get a nice little attack going on here. But we get to play Thalia's Lieutenant first. Let's spread the love with the counter, put it on the Thalia's Lieutenant, attack the opponent for 6. And then, yeah, we're in a pretty dominant position here. Opponent needs to clear this board because they're already down to 13. Even if they put creatures in the way, we just got some Brutal Cathars here to take them out of the way. Urza's Silex, I mean, that is going to be frustrating. As we draw up Brave the Elements. So that won't help us against the Silex. So playing the Brutal Cathar now would do 11 damage to the opponent if we were to put the counter on the Aspirant and train with the Initiate, so it's not quite dead. And then Urza's Silex would clear our board. So I guess spread the love. I guess I could have put that on the Aspirant there and then got a little bit more damage through, but the opponent was never going to die this turn anyway. But we get to remove 2 counters from the Initiate here and blow up this Silex. And also hold open Brave the Elements. So pretty confident we're going to win next turn. Even if they flood the board here with a whole host of creatures and try and take out our creatures with their own spells, we should be able to protect our stuff. Wedding Announcement is exactly what we want to see, as that produces a white creature. And yeah, guess we can just play Brutal Cathar here on their 3/4. And yeah, give our team protection from white and attack for lethal. Alright, on the draw. Yeah, I mean, our hand's always normally pretty good, as most of our spells, or all our spells, cost 3 or less, so we get to pretty much always play something on turn 1. Opponent with Speaker of the Heavens, so life gain deck, but we'll play our Hopeful Initiate here. And yeah, we just need to get our creatures down, and this might be a game where we need to find our Brave the Elements. And they don't have a turn 2 play. Okay, well that's pretty nice. I think we're going to double spell here. And then next turn we can drop our Thalia's Lieutenant and we can do a load of damage. We'll attack with our 1/2 first though, and the opponent takes it. They go down to 19. So some kind of angels I'm expecting to see now. But we have a Brutal Cathar as well at the ready if we need to get one of their Righteous Valkyries. And it's Giada. Okay, so another Brutal Cathar is nice, but we don't find our 3rd mana. So I'm going to play the Luminarch Aspirant, and again, we're just going to try and set ourselves up for a big attack over the next few turns. But we'll attack with our team. I really doubt our opponent wants to block any of this. Nope, they take it all, down to 12. So they're hoping they're just going to gain a load of life. As down comes Bishop of Wings. And they attack in the... well, they attack for 3, but we'll take that. We could have blocked the Speaker there, but don't want to lose my Luminarch, as we still don't find our 3rd mana. We do find a 1-drop though, but I think this is the time to play Thalia's Lieutenant. Pop a counter on everything. And we can jam with our big creatures. So it's 3 for 4 toughness, 4 power creatures coming through to our opponent. They're going to have to block soon. They don't. They go down to 1. Maybe we could have got away with attacking with the Luminarch Aspirant as well, but I'm sure they would have just blocked with the Bishop there. Here comes a Valkyrie, so I guess they're kind of hoping just to gain a whole ton of life now to get back into the game. And they may well do so. We need to find a land. Land would be nice. Adeline. Okay, well, what else can we do here but play the Thraben Inspector? Let's say counter on our Lieutenant, and we get to put a counter on our Dauntless Bodyguard. And this time we can attack just with the 2 creatures. And let's see what our opponent wants to do here. There's 10 damage coming at them, so they're going to have to block both of these. So yeah, this Initiate has been so good in this particular game. Okay, and down goes the Speaker of Heavens. I guess it's got lifelink, so they don't have to block the second creature if they didn't want to. So they go up to 6. And they get a Spirit. So yeah, they didn't need to use Giada there if they've got a bunch of angels in their hand, and they do have a Righteous Valkyrie. So back up to 14 for our opponent. And they get in there with their 1/1, so pretty difficult for us here. And Brave the Elements off the top. Exactly why the card's in here. We'll just name white and we'll attack our opponent for lethal. What a brilliant top deck there against the life gain deck. Alright, on the play. Weird hand, a couple of our creature lands here. And our Shefet Dunes, which is going to cost us a life every time we want to use it for 8 planes, but that is fine as we drop our Hopeful Initiate. And opponent with a Mountain and Kumano. Okay, so burn style deck. We go down to 18 though, because we had to take damage for playing the Initiate. And Thalia is the perfect card in this situation, I would say. However, the opponent's probably inclined to want to play a creature now, as it will come out with a boon of a +1/+1 counter, as it's Robber of the Rich. Well, we'll take that damage. So we find a Dauntless Bodyguard, so we'll drop our 3rd mana. And we're just going to deal with this Robber of the Rich. I know they're going to have loads of ways to deal with our Brutal Cathar, but we can get in a bunch of damage while we can. And we do have Brave the Elements in our hand, so as long as we can get them down to a low life total, we should be able to just attack unblocked through their red creatures. And yeah, Bone Crusher on our Brutal Cathar. Again, I'm still okay with this. Took up their whole turn. And we find another Brutal Cathar, okay. Alright, well, we'll play Brutal Cathar again. And yeah, take 2, we'll take the Robber of the Rich. And this time, though, we do have Dauntless Bodyguard, so we can protect our Brutal Cathar. And attack our opponent for 4 more damage. Down to 11. And yeah, doubt they want to try and destroy the Brutal Cathar now. Okay, Phoenix Chick. And Bone Crusher. And they get in there with their little Phoenix Chick. Okay, there's Adeline. Alright, so we'll play Adeline and then we'll just hold fire and attempt to win next turn. Unfortunately, we can't hold open the Brave the Elements as it costs 2 mana because of Thalia's out. But as long as our creatures survive this turn, we should have more than enough damage to get through next turn. Here's a Burning Tree Emissary. And Kargan Intimidator, okay. Not a card you see every day. But yeah, I don't think we lose this turn. So yeah, this is another case where we're just going to be able to cast our Brave the Elements and name red and get through. So we drop our land. I'm playing Brave the Elements now. Because we've got Adeline on the board, we should probably attack first, and then when the 1/1 has been created, cast Brave the Elements. But we've got more than enough damage. I don't think it really matters at all, as our 1/1 can be blocked. But yeah, going to attack the opponent here for lethal. And another win against a mono-colour deck. Alright, on the draw. Pretty nice hand. Yeah, we'll keep this one. Opponent with a tapped land, which is fine. Xander's Lounge. But I guess we'll play the Mutavault here, as we don't have a turn 1 play. Okay, opponent with a red and a blue land. So kind of expect whatever we play maybe to get countered. So we'll play Thalia. We'll see if they want to counter this. Drari Disruption. Okay, not a card you see all the time. Certainly wasn't playing around that one. And they find a 3rd mana. So I think we just need to keep playing our spells. This time we'll go for the Luminarch Aspirant. It resolves. And we do have a Brave the Elements in our hand we could use if they want to target it. Okay, Prismari command. Well, I feel like I'm just going to use the Brave the Elements here. And we'll protect our Luminarch Aspirant, and at least we get a creature on the board. One of our better ones at that. So yeah, we're using our Brave the Elements here in more of a defensive style. Obviously they could kill it now if they wanted to. Nick our Bolus the Ravager, so we're going to need to discard here. We'll just discard a land. And say go. We find another Aspirant. Opponent is kind of tapped out. Well, we'll play our other Aspirant, I think. And then, yeah, whilst we can, we'll play Thalia's Lieutenant. Really don't want to have to discard the Adeline from our hand, though. But we can pump up our Aspirant here and at least attack the opponent with a 5 power creature. And I'm sure they're not going to block. But you never know. Okay, they go down to 15. So kind of like where we are right now. I wish we still had the Brave the Elements, but we definitely needed to play that early on to keep our creatures going. Alright, Shadow's Verdict. Okay, that destroys our board. So we're gone from a decent position into a pretty terrible position. Elite Spellbinder's nice. At least we get to see what we're going to be playing around. Fail, Push, and Languish. Okay, well. We'll take out their most expensive spell for the minute. And say go. Okay, so loads of removal here for our opponent, although Languish, I guess, takes out their own creature. And yeah, I guess they just attack us at 4/4, which we will take. And a Fable for our opponent. Okay, that creates the treasure they're going to need to use a Fatal Push. So we have an Adeline here. And we obviously drew our second Adeline there, so I'm fine if they want to kill Adeline. So I guess we'll play Adeline now. And I'm sure they're going to use the treasure next turn from their 2/2 to kill it. But we need them to play their spells. So Adeline on the battlefield, and we'll attack our opponent for 3. Yes, it creates a 1/1. I'm sure they're just going to block that. Okay, opponent down to 12. So if they want to kill my Adeline, okay, I'm fine with that as we have our own Fable triggers, so they get to discard and draw. They discard land and draw another card. And yep, here's them passing to attacks. So I'm just going to, I think just take, oh, they're going to kill my Adeline first, fair enough. I thought they might have seen if we blocked first before they decided to do that. So we go down to 6. And Dauntless Bodyguard. Okay. Well, we get to play our Adeline then, and then I guess we'll just protect our Adeline with Dauntless Bodyguard. Hit the opponent for 4. They go down to 8. So I wonder if they can kill us right now. I guess they could play Languish, but they're going to lose their whole board by doing that. They attack us for 6. And we'll just block their 2/2, I guess. Take 4. But they're on 8 life, so... Okay, and Croxer comes down. Fair enough. That's going to kill us, it seems. Good game, opponent. Alright, on the play. Gets to play our Hopeful Initiate turn 1. And opponent has a Forest and a Lamar Elf. So that should be okay if we can find our Brave the Elements here. But we'll attack with our Hopeful Initiate here. And yeah, opponent takes it. And a Werewolf Pack Leader. And another Elf. Okay. Well, we find a Plains. Well, I'm just going to take out the Werewolf Pack Leader right now. And attack our opponent for 4 damage. Highly doubt they're going to block. But this does put them down to 15. Right where we want them. And then we can build up a big board on our side and just look for our spell. Here comes an Elder Gargoth. That is fine by me. And a Mutavault. Okay, well, we'll just drop Adeline. Drop our Thraben Inspector. No attacks right now. So we're just going to be digging for our creature. Hopefully they don't start gaining life when they attack with the Gargoth. And what are they going to do? Just draw a card. That's fine by me. We could kill it with a selection of our creatures here, but don't really want to lose any of my creatures right now. So we'll take 6. They didn't play a spell, so that has transformed the Brutal Cathar. Would have been nice to draw a cheap spell there, as we could have played double spelled and then yeah, transformed back to a Brutal Cathar to take care of the Gargoth. So we'll just play our Shefet Dunes. Could play Thalia's Lieutenant, but yeah, I want to double spell if possible. So I'm just going to hold fire on this just for the moment. If they're just going to attack with the Gargoth, we can take a couple more hits with that. Okay, there's Nykthos. So here comes the huge spell I'm expecting them to play. They attack with their Gargoth. And just draw a card, okay. Had they been gaining life, I think we would have definitely been out of this game. But I still feel like we're just one card away. Down comes the Great Henge. And Mystic, okay. So this is definitely going to be a tough game unless we can find a way to deal with this Gargoth. They're going to be gaining a whole ton of life. But I guess they double spelled, so yeah, our Brutal Cathar turns back to a Brutal Cathar. And we get to eat their Gargoth as we can double spell ourselves, play the Luminarch Aspirant, play Thalia's Lieutenant. That pumps the whole team. And yeah, out of nowhere, we've got a pretty nice attack here. We could even attack with our Mutavault if we want to as well. But I don't really want to lose it right now, so I think we'll just attack with what we've got on the battlefield. Except for the Brutal Cathar. Definitely don't want to attack with the Brutal Cathar. Don't want them to get their creature back. And yeah, this is a massive attack. So they were just reliant there on the Gargoth. And they take a bunch of damage and down to 6. So I wonder how they're going to follow up. They've got a whole ton of mana here. They don't. They just scoop it up. Nice. All right, on the play with this one. Not the greatest land situation in the world, but we'll play our Castle Ardenvale. Unfortunately, it comes in tapped, so we can't cast a 1-drop here as a Shefet Dunes. Well, we'll probably want to play that so that we can double spell here. Play the Hopeful Initiate first, play Dauntless Bodyguard second, and we get to protect our Initiate. Say go. Opponent with a Jetmir's Garden and a Plains and a Lunar Veteran, okay. Some kind of life gain deck. And Hardened Scales, alright, so gonna make some very large creatures at their end. Brutal Cathar might be really nice in this instance. But I think we'll just take out the Veteran here and get attacking. We do have a Brave the Elements in our hand, so as long as we have a large board on our side, we should be able to swing in for lethal later. Fingers crossed they leave my Cathar alone, but I'm presuming they've got a creature they're going to want to cast here. Get some counters on it. It's a Luminarch Aspirant, that's fine. So that is going to become a 3/3. And we find another Mutavault. Not the best draw for us there. Use the aggressive line, play Adeline, and see if the opponent can kill us. If not, we've got a huge attack next turn. For what, 12? In fact, we've got lethal next turn. So as long as the opponent can't kill us, take out any of our creatures, we can attack the opponent for lethal. Also, fingers crossed they play a white creature. Inspiring Overseer is absolutely perfect, and it gains them 1 life, but the 1 life it should be fine for us here. So as long as we play Thalia's Lieutenant first, we should win here. Even find a land. So yeah, Thalia's Lieutenant will pump up the team. And as long as we attack first before we play Brave the Elements, we should have lethal here. I guess we might have lethal anyway without this particular ordering of our spell. I guess they take 18 damage. Yeah, so we would have just had enough even if they could have blocked that 1/1, but nice little victory there. So thanks for watching. I ended up going 38 and 18 today. I really do like the new anthology cards, and this particular card works great in a mono white deck. I felt more comfortable playing this deck as time went on, and the games went by really quick. My favourite matchup is mono green and mono red, but not so much the red mid-range decks. Anyway, I thought I'd just share a few games that I played with it today, so let me know what changes you might make to this deck, and I'll speak to you again very soon.